edition of Talk with Webb. Anyway, we're going to jump into it. Just a quick little video on Thursday night. These are some stuff that I found on AL.com. They're Nick Saban's rips the media. These are his like top 8. We all know that Saban lets it fly. He's not... the closest we saw to Saban type character was that Mike Gundy a few years back where he's like, I'm a man. I'm 40 years old. Come after me. I got a house. He's a boy eating soup. You know, that whole fiasco. But these are Saban's best rips. And I love it because he doesn't really like the media, but they kind of like him. And I think they like to do it just to piss him off. So anyway, the number 8 rip is Saban rips the media over Brian Daboll-led offense. I think I talked about this in a few other videos. Nick Saban, the reporter asked, "Hey, are you going to Brian Daboll to have ball control?" And he was pretty mad. He said, and I quote, "I don't know where you come up with this stuff with ball control. That's not what we do. New England Patriots threw the ball over 60% of the time. I mean, that's more than we threw it. So where do you assume that we just want to find a guy that can just help us run the ball and have ball control?" The media does this stuff. They come up with some shit and throw it at the wall and see what sticks, which is what I see happening here. And some people who scream the loudest kind of get the attention, and then we pass some rules so that everybody will live with, or some law of the land, and consequences mess up everything else for other people. I mean, we do it all the time. We're doing it here right now. And that was kind of a long rant that he did about that. It was really kind of funny to watch. He kind of had a meltdown. I guess he had a stressful week, and the reporter just kind of dug into him a little bit. The number 7 rip was the satellite camps and Adams house cat. If you remember last year, I think it was May, I guess last year, Alabama coach gave an impassioned rant on the topic in the midst of relaxing the scene on the SEC Spring Media Days in Destin. Saban called the camps the Wild Wild West of recruiting. He railed on unintended consequences needed for a college football commissioner and the use of a third-party entities. And we don't know from Adam's house cat. And that was kind of his big thing that made a splash. It was number 7, satellite camps rip. Number 6 is Saban gets pissed after the 2008 win. If you remember, we were playing Clemson. They were very highly ranked. We opened up the season, and I think it was in Atlanta against them in the Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic. And at one time, we led 34-10 to the delight of many. We came out very, very strong. Had a stronger team than a lot of people thought at that time. Nick Saban, he stressed after the game that there's only one game and there are 11 to play. Despite Saban's intention to downplay the victory, the topic of the questions by the media weren't to his liking after the game. So Saban went on a rant after the win, and he said, "Remember how we got here?" He said, "Instead of just show up and we think we can just beat whoever we show up to play, because we have a tendency to think that the way around here, instead of just kicking people's ass like we're supposed to," you know, he was kind of letting the media and the fans know, hey, calm down, one game at a time. Every game has a life of its own, and there's always next week. The number 5 was a pretty funny one. If you remember when I think before Clemson, there was a lot of rumors swirling that Georgia had been approaching Kirby Smart about coaching, leaving Alabama and coaching Georgia. They just fired Mark Richt. And people kept asking Saban about it, And in December of 2015, he's getting pissed about it. And so he said fewer than 24 hours after reports surfaced that longtime Alabama defensive coordinator Kirby Smart was going to be the next coach at Georgia, Saban was asked about it. Cue the Coke bottle. This is what he said. "I don't have anything else to say about it," Saban said, "so don't ask. There's no more. I know you would like some kind of way to extract something out of this Coke bottle that's not there. It's just not there. You all speculate and create things, then you want people to respond to it. I mean, you can get this Coke bottle to respond to it because I don't know anything more about it. I told you I don't know any more, so don't ask me." That was a pretty great one. Number 4 was he rails on looking ahead. This is a rant. It was a week of the SEC Championship game. Saban was concerned about it. But during the 2016 season, Alabama had such perceived lead in the college football playoff rankings that the debate became whether the Tide would lose to Georgia in the conference title and still make the playoffs. And Saban was getting fed up with it, and his response, I I'd really not have any more questions about it. It's okay to lose this game. It's never okay to lose a damn game. You know, he got really pissed. And cue the second question. He said, after they asked him the second question, kind of this a little bit roundabout different way, you should have never asked the first one. This number 3 rant he had was, we're 6 foot under already, which I think most of y'all remember is still fresh in our minds from the 2015 season when we had lost earlier to Ole Miss, and we were struggling, and you know everybody came down on top of us, and everybody remembers all those guys from ESPN. Oh, Alabama's done, the dynasty's over, you know, all that stuff over and over and over. It was after we beat Georgia 38-10. Saban delivered again. The questions were about a focus. A reporter asked about keeping players dialed in with much attention on the program, and Saban let it rip. He was really pissed about this one. He said, I said before, I believe in our team. I do believe in our team, and we're going to work hard to make a team better. And I hope our players respond the right way. And it's not going to be for you. The fans, yes. Because if it was up to you, we were 6 foot under already. We're dead, buried, gone, just gone. that was a great rant. I loved it. Like I said, it was referring to the Ole Miss loss, but I think that prepared us for the win that year and to really move ahead. The number 2 rant he had was things get heated with Feinbaum. If y'all remember, Nick Saban and Feinbaum verbally sparred over the decision to not suspend Cam Robinson or Hugh Jones following their arrest on May 17th of 2016. He pretty much said to Feinbaum, I'm not going to convict him in public, Saban said. I was going to get criticized by you, the public, and the media because I'm not going to suspend him. And I don't really care about that. That's the end of the conversation. That was a good one. That was a really good rant. He stood up for his players. I really liked that one. But one of my favorite all-time, and I would highly suspect most of y'all out there would really like this one. And the number 1 is shit through a tin horn. I don't know what in the world a tin horn is. I think he just comes off the cuff with this stuff. I love it. The environment was perfect for Nick Saban that night. In 2015, the week of the Charleston Southern game, he said he had got asked a question about young players seeing playing time in games like this, focus and excitement or lack thereof, or in terms of the way during this week. And he said, and I mean, you know, and they ran through our ass like shit through a tin horn. I mean, we couldn't stop them. We could not stop them. Could not stop them because we could not get a look in practice. I mean, Southern Georgia rolled up 302 rushing yards on a national championship defense that allowed 72.2 yards a game that season. And that was absolutely my favorite Saban rant. That one and probably Dead and Gone. Because when he was hitting that podium, I mean, Dad, if he was up to you, we'd be 6 feet under. Dead and gone. Like he just, that Coke bottle, that Dasani water bottle was just about to tip off the old ledge there. That was great. But anyway, I got that story over with and on to a sad note for me. This is my favorite Bama shirt, as you can see. Gray, official starter. It's seen better days. I bought it about 2004. It's been through the Mike Shula eras, which we saw a lot of downs. A lot of tears went into this shirt right here. Sad days. You know, I've washed it over and over. It looks like a shotgun blast. It's been washed so many times at the front. I was taking it off the other day. Ripped a hole, well, actually, yeah, 3 holes in the back, just taking it off. And it's my favorite all-time Bama shirt. It's been there through the days of good and bad. It was there when Mike Shula had probably one of his best wins over Tennessee, one of our first wins, I think, against Tennessee in an 8-year span where we had not beat them. We beat Auburn in this shirt. When they had beat us 6 years in a row, we beat them. Went for the first SEC championship this shirt with Saban. The 2 block kicks against Tennessee in 2009 to get us the national championship. All of Saban's championships this shirt is made. I mean, I was wearing this shirt when tears, sweat, the Holy Ghost, God, everything. We were praying on when I think it was 2012 the SEC championship game against Georgia that was so close. I was on the floor crying and weeping. I think I spoke in tongues. I don't know. It was tough. We went through a lot of good years. This was here when LSU was going to beat us, and Yeldon faked those guys out in the LSU game and went down the field and beat them. I wore this shirt against Clemson. We beat Clemson in 2016. Awesome. This shirt's been through it all, and I hate to get rid of it, but every time I wash it, like I said, more pieces fall off. I can't even put it on without more stuff ripping. But I said this to say this. Everybody's got favorite Bama gear. I know y'all out there have your favorite Bama shirt, or you switch to this shirt if this team, if we're losing and you think it's going to change the score, even though we know it's not. We do it anyway. You know, I remember this, and I like this material because my dad back in the day, if you're watching this, Dad, sorry, he had this really short, this was the 80s. Now, this is the 80s now. He had a pair of shorts that were this material, real comfortable. It had Bama on the leg there, on the right side of his leg, and they were holy. My dad had worn them throughout, I think, the 70s, so you know they were short. He'd wear the big socks and the tennis shoes, the high tops, and he would watch Bama games, I remember as a kid in the 80s, and they were the type of shorts that had gotten really holy. I mean, if they weren't short enough, that was a suspect, but they were holy on top of that, so it was definitely the type of pair you don't want to take to the gym and be doing squats, because your bits and pieces may fall out. I'm sorry, Dad. You need to get some longer shorts. I know it was the 80s, but we were trying to transition. It was like 89. We were trying to transition into the 90s, and my mom threw it away. And I remember he was mad because, and I never understood it as a kid because he was always like, these are my favorite shorts. I watch all the Bama games in these shorts, you know. And I never understood it until I had this shirt. And this shirt's made it for over a decade. And like I said, unfortunately, I got to find another Bama shirt, same material, same comfortable gray, you know, Bama logo there on the chest. Ah! You know, unfortunately, I got to retire this year. She's not going to make it even to one game this year because this shirt's about ripped up. But I said this to say this. I love Alabama gear. I know you've all got your favorite shirts. If you want to comment down below and tell me about your favorite shirt or shirt that makes it through all the games with you. I'm a traditionalist. When I find me my favorite Bama shirt, I wear the hell out of it till I got to throw it away and I get another one. So anyway, this is rest in peace, my favorite Bama shirt. And Talk with Webb is out.